Yeah, hi, Greg. You guys, over the last 5 games, have the lowest third down conversion rate in the league. What's going on there, or is that question above your pay grade?
I just feel like we all just need to get on the same page, and we all can do a better job of executing, and that's what we definitely aiming for this game.
We'll go Ed and then Martin.
Hey, Greg. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
Same for you.
Thank you. Just when you look at the Seattle defense, what challenges do you see that secondary presents?
We have to be aggressive. We have to play smart, be on our details. Whenever they give us opportunities, we have to just take full advantage of it.
Martin and then Zach.
Hey, Greg. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Wanted to ask you, Travis Fulgham has kind of struggled the last couple games, and I was kind of wondering, like, as a young guy going through that for the first time, what are you seeing from him? Do you talk to him? Just kind of what kind of things do you think he can do to kind of turn it around?
My only message to not only him but everybody is just to keep working. If you don't like something, you can fix it on the practice field. Put in extra work, whatever you need to do to fix it. And I feel like just staying on that path and staying hungry will definitely help.
Zach and then Damo.
Hey, Greg, what needs to be done to get more out of the punt return game? And when you look at that Browns game specifically, what happened on the punt that went over your head there?
I have to do a better job of sprinting over there, getting behind the ball, facing it up, and catching it to keep our offense out of that situation. So I just have to do a better job of getting over there and making good decisions.
And then overall, just in terms of getting more production out of the punt return game, what's it going to take for some of those returns to pop?
Everybody just reading their keys and doing their job. That's the only thing. Can't force anything. Have to be smart and just be on attack mode.
Go ahead, Damo.
Greg, the COVID situation's kind of hitting close to home here with the league more than ever right now. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald tested positive, Lamar Jackson, and I think almost 10 Ravens tested positive. What's going through your mind as far as the caution that you and your teammates use right now as far as trying to avoid what seems to be almost unavoidable?
Really just staying at home. Just make sure you're wearing your mask, wearing gloves, having hand sanitizer, just trying to be clean with whatever we do, and just staying out of the way of everyone else so we won't come in contact with it.
Go ahead, Martin.
Hey, Greg, I also meant to ask you, I think as a quarterback, you've beaten like Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Baker Mayfield. Is that correct? And if so, like, is there one that's more satisfying than the other?
That is correct, and no, it's not. The game that I remember the most is the one against Pat in high school. That will always forever be one of the, I would say, a classic game. It was a very big game between us both, and it was record setting for both of us, and it was just a lot of fun.
Do you ever say anything to any of those guys when you face them? I know you guys played against the Browns, obviously, in Mayfield last week, and Lamar earlier in the season. Do you ever say anything about any of those games?
Yeah, we just joke around whenever I see those guys. We just joke around about the games, and that's mainly it. Just kind of catch up, real brief, and just joke around.
Hey, Isaac. First off, how did it feel to be back on the field, and how would you assess your play last week?
Yeah, health-wise, first I'll say, I'm real thankful to be back and come back as quickly as I could. A lot of that goes to our training staff. I want to give a special shout out to my mom and little brother who came out and for those first 3 weeks after surgery were out here with me, helping me out and I'm grateful more than I can imagine for them, for my mom and little brother. But I'm out there, man. So, you know what I mean? Regardless of how it feels or this or that, the standard and of performance needs to be as high as possible because I'm out there, I'm playing, and I'm going to do everything I can to be on the field.
Les and then Dave.
Isaac, we've missed you so much. How are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm glad to be back.
What does it feel like? Do you feel like, you're back in sync yet? And there's been so many different iterations of this offensive line, so many different combinations. How hard is that to get people, playing with each other the right way and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, offensive line play is always about, cohesion and, the five guys working as one. And, I'll give credit to Coach Stout because, with all the, because of various things, injuries and whatnot, having to shuffle along the offensive line and getting everybody ready week by week, a lot of credit goes to him and Roy and, and Connor and trying to put us in, in great positions to win games. Obviously, it hasn't been ideal this year, but, offensive line's all about communication, cohesion, and then being able to win your one-on-one matchups.
How has Jordan done, do you think? You've had a chance to watch him. When you went down, he had never played in an NFL game, I don't think. What do you think how do you think he's done? What do you think he's shown?
I mean, first of all the young guys have stepped up. I mean, Jordan, Nate, Herbig, Matt, Sua, Jariga, Driscoll, the list goes on, and I think those guys have played, real well, especially for some of these guys, it's their first games ever. And that just, getting better just comes with experience and kind of seeing things in real life on Sundays and understanding, how to slow the game down. But I think Jordan, all those guys have played real well.
Thank you.
Dave and then Bo.
Hey, Isaac, good to see you. It's hard to believe it's year 5 for you already, which means it's been a long time since you've played center. Just curious at this point in your career if that move would even be possible for you at this point. Are you just a guard now?
Yeah, I think Coach Stout knows I'm always willing to help out the team any way I can and play, wherever. Which was the theme of my first 3-4 years, and now I'm kind of just playing at one spot, but I feel comfortable if if the call came, if they, because of injuries or something, to play center, I could play center, but I'm gonna I'm gonna trust the coaches and what they the 5 guys they put out, and first and foremost, I got to do my job to the best of my ability and look at myself in the mirror at the end of the day and make sure I'm doing everything I can to individually help the team. And then, when I have time to look back at whatever, which isn't a lot, but I'm focused on what I'm doing and going out there and being the best that I can be.
Oh, and then Ed.
Hey, Isaac, I was hoping you could just give us some sort of the details on the injury. What happened on the play? What was the injury? What was the surgery like? And, how does it feel now?
Yeah. So, I think everybody kind of saw it. I got rolled up on my knee. It was like I'm not even sure. It was kind of a freak thing, honestly. And, thankfully, it could have been a lot worse. But at the end of the day, it's just a part of the game. Injuries are going to happen. You try to control and do as much preventative stuff as you can to not happen. But, it is what it is. Nobody's fault or nothing. It's just part of the game. And, I'm back now. So I'm locked into winning this game Monday night.
And then when you were laid up after surgery with your mom and brother there, what kind of things were they doing for you?
Yeah, my mom is incredible, man. I never, I always try to make sure I appreciate how much she's done for me. And those 3 weeks she was here with my little brother, helped me around the house, cleaning up, cooking. I mean, I couldn't really drive because my legs, so I had to, to drive. She was driving me to the facility. I mean, anything you name that that you could do to help me, she was doing, and I'm forever grateful.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Ed, and then Martin.
Hey, Isaac. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I just want to ask, there's a report out there that Jason Peters is going to be going back to right guard, which means you'd be with Mulata. How much work have you had with Jordan during camp or before you got injured? And, what's the challenge like of having somebody kind of new to you, especially when you talk about communication being so important?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, really know whatever the lineup situation or, so I'll, leave that to you guys doing your job hunting that down. But, whenever you're playing next to a guy, especially guard tackle, because there are a lot of times when it's just you two working, together on two guys or two out of the three or whatever. But I have a real good rapport with Jordan, not only on the field but off the field. So I feel, if he's there, I feel comfortable with him, talking to him, communicating. Always, making sure we're on the same set line or this and that, and talking through things, making sure we're working the game plan as much as we can, and then when game time comes, just being able to, play as fast as possible.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Martin.
All right. Hey, Isaac, welcome back. Obviously, injuries are a big part of, football, and you guys have had your share, more than your share on the offensive line. But one guy who's kind of like made it through the whole season so far is Jason Kelsey. And just like, do you guys marvel at like how he's been able to do it? I mean, I guess he's starting his 100th straight game and stuff on Monday night and everything. I mean, just like what you've seen from him, I guess, in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, you talk to anybody in the building, Kelsey's the epitome of what, the kind of professional you want to be. The dude gives everything he's got every day. And I'll say that, I mean, from day one since I've been here, I've been extremely blessed and grateful to have an O-line room filled with not only older guys that are really good at what they do, but also guys that are willing to share with young guys like myself. And now I'm doing it with, the guys coming in. But since day one, guys like Kelsey, guys like JP and Brandon and Lane, and I mean, the list goes on of those guys that have, shown what it means to be not only a true professional and detail your game, but, to give everything you have every day. And Kelsey epitomizes that. So I'm very, very lucky to play with a guy like that. And, and 100 games, that's pretty crazy. I mean, to play that much and to be healthy enough to play, you know what I mean? But, no, I'm real thankful for him.
You have time for one more, so we'll end it here on Domo.
Yeah, Isaac, surgery repairs injuries, but they still need time to heal and recover. Early on, you made reference to regardless of how it feels. I assume it's going to be until after the season before this injury really feels, before that knee is 100% again.
Yeah, I mean, I think with any, like you said, with any surgery, it always takes more time than, after the fact. And, I could say, it's whatever, this or that. And, but, as long as I'm on that field, I expect a real high level of play from myself. And I'm going to go out there and not play with any fear of re-injuring or anything like that. So, any talk of, the knee is this percent or whatever, it's good enough. I'm out there, so I'm going to, play.
Hey, Rod, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Earlier this week, Jim Schwartz was kind of saying that Darius Slay has done a good job against big receivers in the past. Obviously, a pretty big test this weekend or on Monday. What does it take for a corner to handle a big-bodied receiver like that?
I mean, first is just confidence. I think that's where it starts. Preparation, and just a willingness to compete every single play. And I think Slay possesses all of those things. He works hard, prepares hard, has the utmost confidence in himself, and then he competes at a high level. So I expect, the same come Monday night, and I'm excited. I'm excited for that matchup.
Martin and then Les.
Hey, Rodney. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving.
Likewise.
Thanks. I want to ask you, I mean, last year you played them twice, you held them to 17 points each game, and, this year they've got one of the top offenses in the NFL. What kind of challenge is it going to be to, try to stop those guys, and how well do you think Russell Wilson has been playing this season?
Yeah, I think he's been playing extremely well. MVP caliber type of season. We all know, Russell controls that offense, and he has dynamic receivers. I think, each one of them has improved, and they're all playing at a high level right now. DK Metcalf, Lockett, they all have the ability to stretch the field, good hands, and with Russell throwing them the ball, man, they're a dangerous group. So we're going to have our hands full. We're just going to have to compete, man, nonstop. Understanding Russell's going to extend plays. We're going to have to plaster onto our coverage, and we're going to just fight, cover a little longer than what we're used to. But that's the challenge this week that we're ready to take on.
Les and then EJ.
Hey, Rod. Speaking of the Seahawks, you've played against them several times here as an Eagle, and you guys haven't beaten them. Is there a common thread there in those games? Is there something that has to happen? I know they didn't score a lot of points against you last year, but is there something else you guys need to do that you haven't done thus far?
It's a new year. Not really, focus on the previous years. We understand where our record stands and losing to them twice last year. But, we're both different teams. And so, like I said, it's just going to take us just fighting to the end, man. It comes down who wants it the most. It's going to be a tight-knit game. And as a defense, man, we got to come away with some turnovers. I think if we do that, that'll put us in position to win this game.
EJ and then Bob.
Hey, Rodney, you sort of mentioned it earlier, Lockett's improvement. He didn't do a whole lot against you last year, but he's had a pretty good season this year. What have you seen from him? Where has he improved?
I think they're just lining them up everywhere. I feel like he's always been productive since he's been entered in this league. And so, man, he could do it all. He can, like I said, stretch the field, has good hands. Like I said, and they line them up everywhere. So we have to be aware of where they're lining them up, understanding they want to get him the ball. He's a talented receiver.
Bob and then Bo.
Hey, Rodney, there's a lot of outside noise right now. People, the debate who should be the quarterback, and a team that's struggling and probably not playing up to its potential. Is a Monday night game, especially against a division leader like the Seahawks, is that like a chance at redemption?
Yeah, I think, where we are as a team, our record, what everyone is saying outside of this building, we really, we could care less, honestly. It's all about the men and within these walls on this team, and the way that we prepare and the way that we execute come Monday night. That's going to determine that game. It's on us. We understand that. And so it is a great chance and a good opportunity that we have to go against a great team like Seattle with their type of offense and defense and, coming out Monday night with a win. I think that'll help our season and get us back on track.
Go ahead, Bo.
Hey, Rodney, it's always been sort of a thing that Doug is a player's coach and that he has a good pulse of the locker room. I'm just curious what that means to you.
It means he understands, what we go through, what we experience as players. Him being a former player himself, but at the end of the day, man, we go to battle in the war for Doug and the rest of his coaching staff. They still believe in us, and we believe in them, and it's simple as that.
Hey Travis, just curious, when you're trying to get in the flow of the game and you don't get targeted until the third quarter, is it tough to adjust or kind of get into that mold when you've run like maybe 30 routes and then you're automatically just targeted?
No, it's not tough. As a receiver, you always have to be ready. Not every game you're gonna get targets in the first half, first quarter. So just whenever my time's called, it doesn't matter if it's in the first, the fourth, the third. I'll just be ready to make that play.
Last and then Zach.
Hey, Travis. So 2 straight games now of very tight coverage on you, a lot of attention to you, and not much in the way of opportunity. What do you have to do to kind of get into the flow of productivity again, I guess?
Just keep playing my game. Just keep being there for Carson, running my routes the right way, just being sure I'm at my right depth, and just executing on our plays.
Is man coverage tougher for you than zone, personally?
No, sir.
Okay.
Zach and then Dan.
Hey Travis, we've asked you a few weeks ago what type of defenses you're seeing now that you're not sneaking up on teams, for lack of a better term. With more of a sample size here and with teams kind of preparing for you, what are you seeing from opposing defenses?
Not too much. Maybe sometimes double coverage, but I don't think teams have adjusted that much. Maybe a little bit more attention, but I think the opportunity's still there to make plays.
Daniel and then Martin.
Hey Travis, what was it like on Sunday not having Coach Moorhead on the sideline with you guys? How was that different because of the COVID protocols?
It was definitely different, but we have the next man up mentality. I see the kid right there, beautiful kid. Next man up mentality. So yeah, it was definitely an adjustment, but Coach Hart was there. He had us prepared, and we just had to adjust.
Martin and then Ed.
Hey, Travis. I think the last time we talked to you was before Jalen Reagor returned. How has that helped? I mean, I guess obviously you've had a little bit of a tough time since he's been back, but ideally once, all you guys get, comfortable and in sync with Carson, like how do you think he and you can kind of work together?
Yeah, I think we have all the pieces we need. Jalen is a explosive athlete. He's definitely a great rookie right now. He's definitely making plays for us, and we're just going to continue to grow and get on the right path.
Go ahead, Ed.
Hey, Travis, I guess with defenses adjusting to you, how as you, as a wide receiver, how can you adjust back? Is it just a matter of running different routes or running them more precisely? What can you do as a receiver to adjust to what the defense is doing?
Everything. Run routes more precise, switching it up. Something I did in the older games, just kind of tweak it a little bit, kind of throw them off a little bit, but, just keep playing my game.
Are there any other questions for Travis? No? Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Travis, I know it's like way back, but the Virginia Tech game, you went up against Caleb Farley, right? And I was just curious, what did you take away from playing against him? He's just a guy who's getting a lot of attention in the draft. I just figured I'd ask you what you thought of him.
I think he was a freshman back then, so I'm sure he's grown a lot since then, but I can't really remember anything too much about him, but it was a fun day for Old Dominion that day.
We'll take one more here with Zach.
Hey Travis, I'm a week ahead here, but I don't quite know when. We'll talk to you next week. The few days you had in Green Bay, why I guess didn't you catch on, and were you playing as well there as you were in training camp here?
I think I could have played as well, but I just didn't get the opportunity, and that's just sometimes how it goes. So it didn't work out. I have no animosity towards them. So yeah, I'll just be excited to play them next week. But
Hey TJ, how's it going? I think we've asked you this a little bit before, but Alex Singleton's really gotten his chance this year to play a lot on defense. How rewarding is it for everyone in that room to see him finally get his chance and make the most of it?
Yeah, and I think by now a lot of people know his journey and know just kind of the path he took to get here. So it's really you have nothing but respect and you have nothing but joy for what he's doing, and he's up in the competition in the room. He's up in the tempo. So I think him just going out there and flying around and making plays is something that we're all trying to do. And as of late, you see him just flying around making plays, and he's doing a great job. And that guy deserves 100%. Everything that he's gotten up to this point. So he's a big part of our defense.
Well, Mike and then Martin.
Hey, TJ, Bobby Wagner's a guy that seems to be just universally respected as an elite linebacker. Is he a guy that you kind of watched in college and kind of took some tools from, just watching tape?
Yeah, I think you look at him in terms of just every down backer, a guy who can really do it all. And I even think I've been watching him a little bit more this year in terms of rushing the passer. So I think he just keeps adding things to his game. It's something that every linebacker strives to do. So yeah, obviously everybody knows the name, and everyone tries to pick little things from guys around the league, and that's definitely a guy you want to look at to see if you can pick something that you can add to your own game from.
And Martin.
Hey TJ, obviously you guys played the Seahawks twice last season, including the playoff game, and did pretty well, obviously holding them to 17 each time. But what are you noticing as far as anything being different with Russell Wilson this year? Is he even playing better than he was, at any time since you've seen him?
I just think he's a guy who's always gonna be looking to make a play or extend a play, and always be smart about it. So I think. It's just going to take the entire defense to make sure that everyone's on their X's and O's to make sure that we have him contained, and also make sure that we're not giving him easy, quick reads in the passing game. So obviously, very very good player, very talented. So it's going to take everybody to contain him this week, but we're excited for the challenge.
You've obviously gone against quarterbacks who can extend plays,
Mm-hmm.
quite often this season. What is there anything about him that's unique? Especially with the receivers that he's working with.
Yeah, I think he's just a gamer, a guy who when the team needs a big play, he's going to make something happen. And obviously, just with the weapons he has, the deep threats, and so kind of all over the field, you have to know where everyone's at. You have to know down and distance, know when he's going to try to take a shot, know when he's going to check it down. So I think he definitely keeps you on your toes, and you just have to make sure that everybody's playing technically sound and make sure everyone has good eyes on him.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Hey TJ, down in Baltimore, the Ravens are dealing with a COVID outbreak. In general, cases across the country are going up. How is it for you guys in the building? Focusing on yourselves, keeping yourselves safe, while also kind of being aware of what's happening, I guess, at large in the league and beyond.
Yeah, obviously, just everything happening right now. I think we're just trying to do the best job that we can of not congregating and not trying to get too many people together at the same time. And, even when we're out in the field going through, walkthroughs and stuff, we're making sure that, people are keeping their distance and, the masks are always on and things like that. So at this point, it's, I think we look at it as us. You got to control what you can control, and that's us. We can, control our actions out of the facilities and when we're in here. So, and I think we've done a really good job of that so far.
In terms of off the field, what's it like, Ben, checking in with family, your friends, and kind of the off the field aspect of it?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Just a lot of FaceTimes happening, I think, for a lot of people. So trying to do the best to stay connected, and I think that's where it becomes difficult in terms of the team aspect of building camaraderie. You want to make sure you're still keeping up with your teammates even on Thanksgiving and things like that, to make sure everyone's got a place to eat and things like that. So I think at the end of the day, you just kind of have to adjust with the times and do what you have to do to be safe.
Hey Miles, you obviously you're averaging close to 6 yards a carry, but in the fourth quarter that number is like right around 3 yards per carry. I was wondering if in film study you've noticed anything happening later in games that's contributing to really the whole team just not having the same success running the ball late as in the first three quarters.
Teams do teams are doing I guess you could say a better job of just trying to stop us and make us one-dimensional. As far as in the second half, they're doing I'm just giving credit to the teams that's been having good adjustments and really just changing it up and trying to stop our run game. And that's what it is, But we're working every day, like today, especially on Wednesday, just trying to figure out ways where they can try to stop it this way, and then we trying to come out with a counter option, just trying to just keep being effective running the ball.
How important is it, if I could follow up, how important is it to be able to keep the running game going, especially, if you have a lead and you want to run the ball to run some clock? How important is it to be able to do that late in games?
It's definitely important, especially if you want to set up any play actions, just trying to keep them on their toes, because they're going to expect the running game once it's 4 minute, once you're in 4 minute mode. They're going to expect it, but it's good to keep it consistent and effective so we can surprise them with play action, and possibly just throw it deep on them.
Ed and then Bo.
Hey, Miles. I guess Jordan Howard's on the practice squad, and he's one of the protected players this week, and there's a chance he can play, I guess. What's that reunion like for you two? I mean, he was with you your rookie year. How excited are you to have him back on the team?
I'm super excited, honestly. I'm real excited. I love seeing guys that I started this with last year. He was there the whole year, helping me out, getting me better. I'm just happy he's back, and we could definitely use him. And it's gonna make our running back room stronger and more complete. And I'm excited. I hope he does get activated for Monday night.
If I could just follow up, what kind of dimension does he bring to the offense that maybe it's missing at this point?
That real physical, downhill running, and pass pro. I was getting tips and advice from him from last year. As far as from pass pro and being disciplined in my inside zones and outside zones. So he got me right with that, and I'm just happy he's back.
Oh, and then Les.
Miles, do you think Deuce would be a good head coach?
Absolutely, yeah.
What would make him a good head coach?
Just for his passion and love for the game. I think every coach needs to have that. And the way he goes about everything, he holds everybody to a very, very high standard. He holds our running back room to a very, very high standard. He likes us being the energy, the main reason why the team's going the way it's going. He puts a lot of pressure on us, and seeing him as a head coach, I think he can do that for the whole team, and get everybody's mindset like that. But I think he'll make a hell of a head coach.
Les and then Mike.
Hey, Miles. So big changes along the offensive line, it seems. How does that affect you? Do you need to work with, Jason at right guard and with Pryor at right tackle to get in sync with them? Or, how do you look at that from your perspective?
Not really. The whole year we've been moving the O-line around, so I think it's just hats off to Coach Stout. No matter who's in there, like I said, we've been changing the O-line. The O-line picture's been changing every week almost, and Stout's has been doing a good job of getting whoever's starting up ready for that week, and been doing a heck of a job running the ball with different guys in there. So,
thank you.
Go ahead, Mike, and then Zach.
Miles, last week we saw Press Taylor and Aaron Moorhead be sidelined due to COVID, and I was just curious if that situation happened with the running back room. What does TJ bring to the room? What's your relationship like with him, and what's his input in the room typically?
His input and his input is just as important and effective as Deuce's. It's not just always Deuce teaching us; it's TJ too. TJ plays a big part in the run game as far as understanding what the blocks are. He's always in meetings with the O-line, so he's very important to the offense and the team because he gets just as ready as Deuce does.
We'll end it here on Zach.
Hey, Miles, after a fumble, what's, I guess, your reaction in the week after? Do you try to flush it out of your system? Do you do ball security work? What's kind of the next few days like?
Well, no running back never wants to fumble. It's just a mental thing, honestly. I don't want to sit up here and give excuses. Of course, during the week, I'm doing whatever, just trying to get my memory back locked on it, the ball, doing extra drills, extra work, and making sure that doesn't happen again.